Hi, thanks for being here. You're listening to A Conversation with Jordyn. That's me. I hope you enjoy the episode. Hi guys, welcome to another podcast episode. I'm so thankful you're here. Thank you for being a listener, or a watcher if you're watching me on YouTube. I really appreciate you being here. You know, today was not my best day, for no good reason. Just one of those days where I didn't get good sleep. I woke up, had a lot of tasks that I wanted to do, and didn't quite feel as productive as I wanted. I didn't quite have the motivation that I wanted. And then went through the cycle of being a little bit hard on myself because of that experience. And, I wanted to record a podcast in general, just like as a to-do list item for the day, even though this podcast, like I said, is more of an outlet for me to just like have some creative freedom, and it's a really fun thing. And today it felt like more of a to-do list item. But then I'm like, I think it's really important to come on and share the reality of life. But I am not going to share in just the negative perspective of like, oh, bummer, today was just a bummer. Because that's actually not the full reality. Today had those moments of being like, man, I'm just not feeling it today. But it also had some really rich moments of a really great opportunity in front of me, regardless of how I felt, to choose to view this day as a gift and to enjoy the day that was ahead of me, and to not feel like the day itself is a day to throw out the window. I've heard the voice a lot. I've heard the verse a lot. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. And just today, I thought about that verse and thought about, as a creator myself, thinking about God creating a day. And the fact that He created this day as another day for me to exist in and live in. That's a really fun thought. And so it gave me the encouragement to be like, you know what, this is another day. It's great that I get to live it. That's a blessing, that's a gift. And so even though I don't feel all the ways I want to feel today, I can still rejoice in it. I can still be glad that the day is here and that I'm getting to live in it. So yeah, the beginning of this day, I really did. I just kind of like, my goals for the day were to write my newsletter. They were to, maybe make a whole nother YouTube video. They were to, record this podcast and more. And I just had no motivation for any of it. I was so tired. And I also am somebody who doesn't like to create out of a space of like not meaning it and just doing it. So I kind of went through half the day just kind of like, sitting in some of those thoughts. And then, like halfway through the day, I was like, you know what? I have the full day to myself. I can still turn this day around to be a really, really great day. And so I just started working out. I thought, working out gives you really great positive effects almost always. You feel good about doing it. It does help with the hormones or release of dopamine or whatever, of those things that are happening in your brain. And maybe that will help kickstart some things. And sure enough, I did that, and I've accomplished almost all of the tasks that I wanted to today. It just happened in the later half of the day. And so, yeah, I just, it's funny, as I'm even sharing this now, I'm like, it's just funny how like certain days you can have more negative thoughts or more critical thoughts, because I'm gonna just be straight up honest with you. I just had this moment as I'm speaking. I'm like, who even cares about my day and the fact that I had one day that may not have gone as well this moment? And I'm like, that thought right there is so unhelpful, because I've known that releasing things like this and just sharing things like this, sometimes there's that one person out there that is having the same experience as I'm having for the day, or like a very similar feeling, and they just needed the encouragement to hear like this day can still be good, and it can be still something you rejoice in and have joy for, and you can choose to turn it around just by a perspective shift, just by a, it is just a perspective. Honestly, it's a choice to enjoy the day. And so I'm not going to think that this podcast episode is dumb just because I'm talking about one day where I didn't feel as productive or as good or as positive about life. I think that it's beneficial to just put it out there anyway. This is me taking steps forward regardless of whatever critical thoughts are trying to attack me for the day. And I just want to say this day is also coming out after like a bunch of very like days where I was so productive and I felt great. Like I had a day last Friday where I was just I'm an efficient-minded person. I love when things just line up with efficiency, like when I can just like accomplish multiple tasks in a very efficient manner and maybe even multiple at once. It just felt like one of those like incredible days where like I'm so satisfied that everything is getting fulfilled seemingly really well. I had a day like that on Friday, which is the complete opposite of this day that I'm talking about. And that was really enjoyable to experience. And the day before that, I worked all day long on recording a YouTube video, which was a goal I had set for myself. And I made it all in a day. I was really proud of myself for that. So that YouTube video will be releasing tomorrow, which is the same time I'll put this podcast out most likely. So today. So if you're listening to this on the day that I released it, the video will be released today. And yeah, I just, if you've been following me along in this podcast since the beginning, there's this like big life goal of mine to really work at that perfectionist aspect of my personality, and just continue to move forward through things even if they're like not at the highest of quality as I would like them to be. And I think this is a practice that I really care about, because for the future, like if I even have future children, like that's how much my mind thinks. Like I know that I will always have areas to grow, but I would love to do my due diligence of learning and healing a lot of those things in myself so that I could be the best. I could pass on the best pieces of me along to children, or along, even if I don't have children one day, I don't know if I'll get that blessing, then maybe it will be just to the person next to me, that I can be a much more peaceful and gracious and grateful person to be around, a joyful person to be around, because I'm not caught up in perfectionist tendencies and stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, I feel the tug of war in my heart even as I created a podcast like this. And I think it's just so fascinating. It's just so fascinating to be in a place where like sometimes our brains are just kind of weird. They just do weird things. Like there's certain days where I'm like feeling so positive and like fully believe in all that I'm doing, and can even record a podcast like this and be like, wow, I think that's probably going to be so helpful for someone. And then there's days like today where for some reason my mind is fighting me and it's wanting to go down a critical path. And it's just weird that we have different days like that, but that's just the reality of life. Like emotions sometimes are all over the place, and sometimes they might just be like literal physical things going on in our bodies, where maybe I have a different hormone today that is a bit more present than the other one that would maybe bring a little bit more natural positivity. But what I love about like our minds and thoughts specifically is that we have a conscious choice. Like we have the choice every single day to respond well to how we're feeling, even what we're thinking, what's happening around us, what the actual circumstances of the day are. And so that's really maybe just what I want to leave this podcast at today, is just to encourage you in that choice, and to show you how much, sometimes I don't like the word power, but truly power you have over the result of your day. And like, I really mean that, even in like the worst day of your life. I just was sharing about this the other day. In the worst day of your life, you can always, 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 always find something to be grateful for. Gratitude is an endless well. It's a resource that you can't run out of. Gratitude is possible in every single situation of your entire life. There's an angle you can look at and be grateful for at least something in it. And so that's a choice every day. And I feel like choosing gratitude in every day and every moment, and choosing to just like and have the joy for the day is a much more enjoyable way to live life. And I don't say any of this, like none of this, I'm not saying any of this in an effort to ignore hardship. It is both and. It's while you're experiencing a day that's like, man, I just don't feel as great, but I'm still grateful for the day itself. So, in all that I'm sharing, for myself and for you, I'm not telling you to ignore the hard things, ignore the bad things, but I am encouraging you in the choice that you have to respond well to it anyway. And so maybe, just maybe, my kind of off day where I wanted to record a podcast but didn't feel like I had anything great to say except for share about exactly what I was feeling for the day can somehow be super helpful for you. And I'm going to trust that it will for somebody out there. And if you listened to me anyway and you just kind of didn't need this today, thank you. That's something that I can be grateful for today, that I have somebody out there who even gave me a chance to just listen to what I had to say for the day. I really appreciate you. And if you want to go check out the YouTube video I made, I'm sharing that because I never like to make promises because life happens, and there's priorities that I consistently keep in order of that's really important to me in life, such as like the people directly around me and my life and health directly as it is every day. But YouTube is something that I am trying to pursue. I have had so many people affirm me and encourage me to pursue it and tell me, Jordyn, your stories are great. Put them out there. And so I'm getting the creative juices flowing again, and I'm getting myself out there to create and put stuff out there. So that's why I'm sharing it with you. If you want to go check it out, the true goal is to be putting more out there. So I guess you can just follow my journey and see how well I do. I'm authentically here with you, living life the best that I can, with the ups and downs of really having a goal and wanting to achieve it, but fully recognizing that life is life and we'll see what happens as it goes. Yeah. And with that, of course, I want to reshare as usual that that's my whole heart behind like all of what I do online, and that's why I created the More Than a Filmmaker community. Is just to invite others to join this journey of creativity and experiencing life in the mix of our goals and the hardships and the good and the bad and the struggles, and just being there as friends, family, together through it all. So if that's anything you're ever interested in, I would love to get to know you and support you all the same, and to show you that whatever impression you have on me online, thinking that maybe I have it all figured out, I don't. Nobody does. I say I don't because nobody does. So, but there are some things that I do know I do well. I do well. So I would love to help you in the experience that I do have and encourage you in that as well. Yeah. Anyway, in all of that, I hope you understood the point. And yeah, I just really hope that you're having a wonderful day. And if you're having a day like I am, where it's not so wonderful, I hope that you can choose to find the joy in the day. And just at least one thing to be grateful for. Such as, for me, it's always just the gift of being alive. That's something to be grateful for. Cool. Thank you for listening so much. I appreciate you so much. And I will see you next week. Sorry, I'm stumbling at the end of this podcast and I'm just going to leave it in. I hopefully will see you next week. I'll see you next time for sure, whenever the next time is. And we'll see what I come up with then. I'm sure I'll have more specific topics to talk about next time. At least I imagine so. Okay, welcome to the end ramble. That feels unnecessary. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking now. This is very me. Bye, guys.